I just ended a 4-year-long toxic love-hate relationship, and it wasn't with another person. And come to think of it, we haven't really broken up. We've just changed living arrangements. As of a couple days ago, I decided to completely stop using Anki for language learning. So I suspended all of my vocabulary cards and audio sentence cards. Now, this doesn't mean that I'm going to completely stop using Anki. My streak will live on. So as you see, I have a 1,524-day streak. And I've started using Anki. I've talked about this in other videos. I've started using Anki for things not just for language learning. For example, quotes. There's this website called goodreads.com where they have, it's a book review website. But when you click on a book, there's a section on the bottom where you can click this quotes button and you can find a list of a bunch of quotes. And I've been going through these. I'm making close cards out of these quotes. We live in the information age, so I'm making use of it. And I've been learning so much from going through these quotes. Another thing is astronomy. When I was a kid, I used to want to be an astronaut, and I still share a love, or I still have a love for astronomy. So I've been going through this textbook. It's called OpenStax. Well, OpenStax is the website, and I've been making close cards on astronomy. So there's a bunch of quotes, or not quotes, a bunch of cards in here. Another thing is, I guess, psychology, I guess. There's this list of psychological biases and like mental fallacies, that sort of thing on Wikipedia. So I've been going through those, also making close cards, and also using ChatGPT to generate examples. So I've been going through things like these, things like confirmation bias, a conjunction fallacy, hindsight bias, things like that. And that's been very useful. And then I guess the final thing is geography. If you go to a country and look up the Wikipedia page, if you go to a Wikipedia page on a country, you'll see that they have these SVG images. So if you right click and click save as, that's a vector image. And what I've been doing is going through a bunch of these and learning the regions of random countries just because I can, like all of these. And so, yeah, I've stopped using, Anki's been great for everything else, but just for language learning, I don't think that it's been cutting it. Now you will see that I do have this English deck. I downloaded this, how long ago? Yeah, almost 2 years ago. So I go through, this is a pre-made deck where I just learn random English words. But in terms of Spanish, Mandarin, and Korean, I don't feel like it's been helping that much. So the reason why is let me actually turn the camera back because you don't need to see the screen anymore. So the reason why I stopped using Anki for language learning is because of, there's this idea that I talked about in my 1,400-day Anki streak. So I was talking about, suppose you're in a class, like this could be a high school class or a college class, and you're taking notes. If you take your notebook away, if you take no notes, it'll actually make you learn, it'll improve your learning. Because when you're taking notes, you have the knowledge that, well, if I don't get what the professor is saying now, I have it written down so I can come to it later. It's sort of, the notebook is your backup system. But when you don't take notes, when you don't have any backup system, you think, wow, I really need to pay attention because once the information is gone, it's gone. It's this sense of scarcity that makes you pay attention more. And when you don't take notes, it'll force you to really pay attention more and value what the professor is saying, and it'll increase your learning. So in the same idea, Anki is basically like taking notes, because whenever I find a new word and I put it into Anki, I'm basically telling my brain, well, you don't have to strain yourself to learn it now. Anki will just cram it into your brain later. So you don't really have to try right now to learn it. And I feel like when I learn words, I've only been doing it for a couple of days, but when I learn words without using Anki, of course I look them up, but I feel like the word sticks in my head more. Whenever I put the word into Anki, it doesn't really I don't remember it for within the first couple of days. But when I don't use Anki, it's this feeling like I come across this word, the next time I come across this word might be in 3 years. So I really have to put my attention towards learning it. So I found out that for the past couple of days not using Anki, that I really my learning abilities have increased. So I think Anki is actually counterintuitive in terms of straining your brain to learn something in the immediate moment. Other thing I want to talk about, yes. So it doesn't. I don't feel like Anki improves my active vocabulary. Within the past couple of weeks, I've been actually trying to improve my Spanish speaking. Make sure I'm on the right topic. Well, actually, before I talk about improving active vocabulary, first I'll talk about this psychological thing. Again, I found this psychological thing when I was looking at my Wikipedia, going through that Wikipedia list of biases and things like that. There's this thing called the generation effect. So the idea is that you remember information better when you output it, as opposed to when you read it. So if you write or say something, you'll remember that better than if you just read it. And I personally found this true because during the past couple of weeks, I've been starting to output more in Spanish, writing a little bit in my journal entries, as well as like watching a YouTube video and summarizing the YouTube video in my own words. And what I found is that when I say words, not just when I actually try to listen to new words in a YouTube video, then say those words in my summary, those words stick in my head a lot more. I can even remember like a YouTube video I watched like 2 weeks ago. I remember the video and I remember the words that I said because my brain had to strain to output it. So I think that the generation effect is real, and when you output things, that actually helps. That helps put things in your memory more than just having Anki do it for you. You can really remember a lot of things. And I think I've forgotten that. You can learn. I mean, people in the past learn languages without Anki just fine. So it's not like I really need it. Right. So the last thing I want to talk about is there is this quote. Let me turn my screen back. When I was going through Goodreads, of course, there's this quote that I found. And it really kind of inspired me to stop using Anki. Yeah, so there's this quote. Let me change it. Yeah, so you can see it. So it's basically own only what you can always carry with you. No languages, no countries, no people. Let your memory be your travel bag. So this quote inspired me to basically stop using Anki, because Anki is just a substitute for your memory. You can learn things without Anki, and I guess your knowledge is the only thing that can't be taken away from you. Like a thief can steal your money, your belongings, but they can't steal your knowledge. So yeah, that's looking at this quote plus the generation effect. That's why I decided to stop using Anki for language learning. And yeah, I think that's everything I wanted to talk about. Let me see. Anything else on my list? No, I think that's it. So yeah. Like the video if you liked it. Dislike it if actually you can't see the dislike button anymore. Subscribe, comment, all that stuff. See you in the next video, and take care.